this, as you hear, this is a very important. Important poem in Canada. The poem was written by John McCrae in the times of World War I. We have Remembrance Day on November 11, and November 11 is the day when this war ended. The day is used to honor all fallen soldiers, not only who died in World War I. We have a minute of silence this day, and in November, many people they wear label poppies, the small label poppies. So everybody can see the poppies. Everybody knows that the poppies are associated with the fallen soldiers, but most people do not know where the tradition comes from. Well, immigrants do not know. People who graduated from Canadian school, of course, they know. I learned this fact from my kids, this tradition. They took me once to the ceremony of Remembrance Day. So I heard the poem and I was really impressed, and I read it carefully at home. And there was one more thing that worked as an impulse for me to make this translation. There is a famous novel, it's called All Quiet in the Western Front, the novel written by Erich Maria Remarque. I read this book when I was in my kid's age. So there is one episode there. One soldier lost his mind when his infantry was moving through the poppy fields, because in his imagination, these fields turned to fields of blood. So I made translation into Russian, and it had quite a good resonance. It was even read in Russian radio right before the moment of silence. And then I thought that I'm not the only immigrant who doesn't know Canadian history. Immigrants from other ethnic communities, they normally don't know either. I work a lot with the Canadian cultural mosaic. Actually, this is my passion. I really love it. So I know some poets and writers from other communities. So I started asking people, and this is how the project started. And that's where we are. Now I would like to read the first stanza of my translation, and same thing, I will ask all translators to read only the first stanza of your translation, and then I will give microphone to the next presenter. So here, in your language, of course, here is the first stanza in Russian. Во Фландрии, в полях цветут, пылают маки, там и тут, среди крестов, и это мы, и тишина среди войны, и птицы в облаках поют, а мы мертвы. So this is the beginning, and now I want to give microphone to Victor Fett. Victor will introduce himself, but I want to mention one thing, that during last months, the number of our translations, the number of languages doubled, and the credit goes to Victor. Victor, please, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Vita, spasibo. It is an unusual honor in many senses. First, I am so glad to see my former students here. I wrote so many recommendation letters for them that they were eager to respond with translation. I'm a biology professor for last 30 years in the United States, and I also do all kinds of literature, and a couple of people who are also joining are part of our much more ambitious project of worldwide translations of Alice in Wonderland in all possible languages. So I'm recruiting new ones. Yura Marusik on my side is another contributor who will speak next. And together we managed just to write to everyone we know, with the obvious goal to translate in Flanders Field when Vita involved me in this wonderful project. I'm not a historian, but I also know that in the United States, where I am now, and in many other countries, First World War, the First World War, is largely forgotten. Modern kids mix it with the Second or Vietnam War or whatever. But obviously, I'm old enough to remember that my grandmother addressed years before 1914 as peaceful time, and she never knew any other peaceful times in Russia. So this, of course, was the great war of the times. Many intellectuals, such as H.G. Wells, welcomed it as a war to end all wars. And they were, as we know now, quite disappointed. So it is important, not only for Canada, who fought overseas war for its Indian empire, but I know that people responded to me from India, from New Zealand, from Australia, from all the parts of the Commonwealth, and even from non-Anglophone countries. So I helped some of you with Russian translation by Vita, who did this to their very exotic languages, which do not have much translation. So I'm very humbled and honored by this project. And a couple of words in Russian. Я очень благодарен всем, кто здесь сейчас есть, и всем, кто нашел время и возможность присоединиться к этому совершенно уникальному проекту. Я не знаю других таких. I don't know any other project like this. I think we are doing something very unique here, even with only a dozen out of more than 40 translators joining now. I hope the list will grow, and we welcome everyone. So now I probably need to give a microphone to my old friend Yuri Marusik. By the way, I'm a scorpion specialist and Marusik is spider specialist. So we are doing what Russians call fizika lyrika.
Yeah, just для людей, for those who does not speak Russian, the name of my club, the Club of Creative People, it's hard to translate in English. The best I found is Arts and Science Club. Russian speakers know much better. Club Fiziki и Lyriki. The idea is to make sure there's these two types of creativities, no contradiction. You're either creative or not, and we all work together to inspire each other. Yes, and as Victor said, Victor is Scorpions. Yuri is arachnology. So nice people and work for so scared creatures, but my applause. Yuri, please, the microphone is yours.
I was happy to join this international project, and I see, because I'm poor in poetry, but I enjoyed contacting my friends and colleagues all over the world, in South Africa, in Kenya, in New Zealand, in Baltic State, in Czech Republic, Slovakia, some also in Slovenia. So I was happy to collect as many as possible people who will translate this nice, interesting poem, which sounds very beautiful in Russian language, thanks to Vita translation. That's all what I plan to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Yuri. Let me see who is number 4. Number 4 is Victor Shapoval. Victor? Victor, can you hear us?
Yes, yes. I'm starting. Hi, everybody. Glad to see you. My name is Victor Shapoval. I work at the Moscow City University, Russia, and take part in the international project on Roma history at the University of St. Andrews, Scotland. And I present the beginning of the poem translated into North Russian Romani, Ke Flandria Pefeldi. Ke Flandria Pefeldici, Bariona, Lole Makici, Tel Trushila, Tel Amare, Nabut Shundle, Chiriklore, Karedenia, Nadakice. I started from a piece of soft self-criticism, translating this very part. I kept in mind one Cicero's Latin dictum, Inter arma silent music, as on me it is hidden here. If I failed, it's pity, but such losses are inevitable in poetry translation. Telling about the people, using this language, I suppose Roma as an ethnic minority is well known worldwide. The language spoken by them is an Indian language by origin, and I dare to say it is the first Indian language spoken and heard in Europe for about 7-8 centuries at least. Naturally, so-called nomad language, to be more accurate, the language of the urban semi-nomads has many dialects, and sometimes they are not mutually understandable or hardly understandable. A few words about the concrete dialect I use. It was the language of the famous Moscow Roma choirs. On the other hand, for a short period, for a decade, it was the language of the new Soviet schools between two world wars. This was the language of the former horse market, and it is still the language of many popular songs of Russian Roma. And I'm glad that now it lives in the internet, used today very broadly to connect family living in different regions and countries. And of course, new books still appears, and new educated generation is growing, and I hope this language will have the brilliant future. I couldn't dream about it about 30 years ago. It's unbelievable. Thank you very much for your kind invitation, and thank you for your time. It's my, I finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Victor. The next presenter is Mikhail Kenka. Just want to make sure, Sergey, Alexander Sofer has a number, right? Number 11, as I can see. Just double check. You can check in private chat. Окей, Михаил Кенко, пожалуйста, говорите по-русски, мы переведем. Михаил Кенко, можете слышать нас?
Микрофон.
Я сделала ask to unmute. Михаил?
His microphone is muted.
Yeah, trying to ask him to unmute. Может быть, окей, so, Михаил, мы сейчас тогда к следующему, вас попробуем, может быть, потом, когда с микрофоном справитесь. Окей, I think...
Так, слышно?
Вот теперь слышно, отлично.
Я не нажал включить звук.
It's okay.
У меня еще мало опыта.
Говорите, мы переведем.
Ага, ну так, начать сначала?
Сначала. И одну строфу вашего перевода.
I'm from Belarusian. My name is Mikhail Kenko. Я перевел это стихотворение на белорусский язык. Вот первая строчка. На Фландере полях буяя мак. Я очень доволен, очень рад, что мне представилась возможность перевести это стихотворение на свой родной язык. Дело в том, что оно связано и с моей страной, связано с Белоруссией. Белоруссия пережила много войн. И здесь тоже, здесь на белорусской земле много мемориалов, много кладбищ. И это сразу вспоминается, первые строчки, сразу вспоминается именно это. Погибшие, поле усеяно мертвыми телами. И далее я вижу в этом стихотворении большой призыв к миру, к тому, чтобы народы жили дружно, и чтобы все могли наслаждаться жизнью, любить, любоваться рассветами, как вот и те, которые безвременно полегли на французской земле. Поэтому мне это стихотворение очень дорого. И я очень рад, что попробовал перевести его на белорусский язык и оказался в такой хорошей компании. И мне бы очень было приятно и хорошо было, если это и будет издано сборником или хотя бы виртуально будет все вместе. Поэтому я думаю, что это стихотворение должно жить, ну, как говорится, оно вечное, потому что это вечный призыв к миру, к мирной жизни. Вот это все, что я хотел сказать.
Хотите прочесть первую строфу?
А еще раз. На Фландрии полях буяя мак.
I can summarize for English speakers, Vita.
Okay.
Mikhail is from Belarus or Belarusia, and he talks about his country experiencing many world wars and a lot of military and other cemeteries over his country. And he sees this wonderful poem as a call for peace among all the nations after all the bloody wars.
Good.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you very much, Mikhail. And then the next presenter is.
Thank you very much, Victor.
And the next presenter is Любовь.
Translate.
Yeah, Любовь Арбачакова. Люба, вы с нами?
I can introduce meanwhile. 1 second. Let me present to everyone Luba Arbachakova, who is a philologist and the linguist and poet and artist, and she is from Mountain Shoria, which is Siberian forested area in central Siberia in Russia. And she also was the first translator in our Alice in Wonderland project, which now exists in the Siberian Turkic language. Luba, if you want, you can speak in Russian, or I can summarize as well.
Доктор, good evening. Спасибо большое организаторам, Виктор Фетфам, Вита и всем присутствующим. My name is Любовь Арбачакова. I am from Mountainous Shoria, which was situated in South Siberia. I am folklorist. I study heroic epic of my shore people. Shore language belongs to the Turk group of languages. My people is indigenous people, numerous, about 13,000 population. The beauty of Shoria helps me create picturesque works. Sometimes I write the poem in Russian and shore languages. Now I would like to read the beginning of the poem in Flanders Fields in shore language. Фландрия холарында. Күстің черлерді крес аразында, әндімінді қызыл мақтыр өзіп, Фландрия холары чайылчы. Амшаглашқан черді шымполу, тегрі үстінде құштарла көглішчі. Спасибо, thank you.
Спасибо большое, Люба. Thank you very much. Thank you, Люба. The next presenter is Manduparna Gupta. Mo, can you hear us? I know Manduparna because I've worked together, used to work together with Indranil, Manduparna husband. Mo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Please, the microphone is yours.
Okay. Can you hear me all?
Yes,
me?
yes,
okay.
We can.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Madhuparna Gupta. I have arrived in Halifax last October from India. In India, I worked as assistant professor of political science. And now I'm working as a junior policy analyst in the Department of Environment in the government of Nova Scotia, Halifax. So I'm very much honored and thrilled to be in the team that Rita has created for us. And this poem, I have translated this poem in 2 different languages. This Bengali, it is my mother tongue, and in German language too. So now I'm going to read about the first stanza of the poem in Bengali language. ফ্ল্যান্ডারের ক্ষেত্রস্থলে, ফ্ল্যান্ডারের ক্ষেত্রস্থলে যেখানে সুশোভিত পোস্ত পুষ্প বিকশিত হয় আড়াআড়ির মধ্যস্থলে সারিবদ্ধ হয়ে, সেখানেই আমাদের স্থান চিহ্নিত হয়। এবং গগনে যেখানে নির্ভীক ভরত পক্ষীগণ শান্তভাবে গুঞ্জন করে দিগন্তে ধাবিত হয়, ধরাতলে আগ্নেয়াস্ত্রের নিনাদ তাদের কর্ণগোচরে প্রবেশ করে না। I would like to talk about a little bit of Bengali language because it is the 3rd highest spoken language in my country, in India, and it is one of the most important national languages of my country. That's obviously India, and this is one of the ancient languages too, which has rich cultural heritage. And I would like to also mention in this regard that many Bengali speaking soldiers, Indian soldiers, participated in the First World War as a representative of the British Indian government at that point of time. And today I feel myself very much proud to be associated with this project. And I convey my heartfelt gratitude to Vita and her team for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and pay homage to the war veterans. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Yeah, I know that I forgot to say at the beginning that Mo was one of the first people who actually joined the project. He made translation into 2 languages, Bengali and German. By the way, last year, when of course everything was possible in person, we had quite a big event. The most important historic location of Toronto. Yes. Canada is a young country. It's not like India or Russia. So in Canada, beginning of 19th century, this is a very ancient, ancient. So we had an event in Fort York Historic Site, and many people, many communities attended. Some people are here now on Zoom. I can see and the representatives of community leaders. I can see Pavel from Russian consulate, the general consulate presented and spoke last year. It's a huge thing to get all people from different countries and different views. Do you want to read the first stanza in German? And I also had a question to you. Do people, India is one of the countries of Commonwealth, right?
Yes, sure.
Most countries, for example, in Russia, people don't celebrate November 11. There is difference.
Yes.
In the States, there is a Veterans Day, which is different, close but different. Yes. Do people in India know the November, specifically November 11, Remembrance Day?
No, Vita. We celebrate our Independence Day and the Republic Day. Independence Day was in 15th August, and Republic Day we celebrate on 26th January every year.
Okay.
So we do not celebrate the participation of the Indian soldiers and in the First World War. We do not. Sorry from my side, but this is for historical perspective too. We do not celebrate that. We celebrate our own independence from the British, from our colonial culture. We celebrate that.
I see. Now I would ask you to read one stanza in German, and then I will give microphone to the next presenter, which is Judith.
Sure. Guten Tag. This is good afternoon to everyone in German language. So the poem in German language is called In Flanders Feldern. In Flanders Feldern wachsen die Mohnblumen, zwischen die Kreuzungen, über die Reihen. Das bezeichnet unser Platz. Und im Himmel, die Lerchen noch singen mutig und fliegen. Sie hielten selten an den Waffen unter dem Boden. Dankeschön. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madhuparna. Judith, the microphone is yours. Judith Cohen again. She I know Judith for quite a while. She is a wonderful musician and professor, and also she performed in our Festival of Jewish Culture, Otazoi. And for this project, Judith didn't do any translation, but she initiated. So she found one translation in French, and she also initiated translations to Catalan and Ladino. Judith, please.
Hi, thank you, Vita, and thanks everybody. I loved all these translations, and I'm very excited about the Romani one, because as an ethnomusicologist, I've worked with Roma people, mostly actually in Portugal, where they're not very well known, and Spain, as well as the Balkans, and it's wonderful to hear this. So I asked Rachel Amado-Bortnik and Daisy Sidaka-Braverman, who are two women in their 80s, who are among the last generation of native speakers of Ladino or Judeo-Spanish, the Sephardic Jewish Spanish, very, very old language. So I'll do first the first verse of that. En los campos de Flanders enflorecen amapolas, entre ciras y ciras de panayas que amostran nuestro lugar. Y en el cielo, con coraje ainda volan y cantan las aluetas, casi no sentidas entre las armas de abajo. And I'd like to say that in Auschwitz-Birkenau, among the plaques, the commemoration plaques in different languages, this language was added only in 2003. And of course, we just had Holocaust Remembrance Week and Kristallnacht, and it's good to know that this language is represented as well. And then another minority language, I asked my friend and colleague Isidor Marí in Barcelona to translate it into Catalan, and he replied that for years he had thought of doing this because he loved the poem so much, and he's one of the few people in Catalonia who already knew it well. And he said this gave him, Vita's event gave him the perfect reason to actually sit down and after all these years translate it, which he had planned to. So from Isidor Marí in Catalan. Als camps de Flandes creixen les roselles vora les creus, filera entre filera, marcant el lloc on són, i pel cel volen cantant sempre valentes les aloses que abaix entre els canons on sent apenes. And this is Canada, so I'm a Canadian. My parents were born in Canada. My grandparents came here from Eastern Europe about 120 years ago. And so we can't have an event like this without French, and I'm using with permission a translation that was done by Guy Lafaye in 2015. Dans les champs des Flandres, les coquelicots poussent, entre les croix, rang sur rang, qui marquent notre place. Et dans le ciel, les alouettes, en chantant encore bravement volent, à peine audibles parmi les canons en bas. And I asked Vita if I could also do one song, as I did a few last year. So my own specialty is actually Sephardic music, which you might have guessed from how much I was talking about it, but my grandparents' language was Yiddish. And this is an old song, it's a beautiful song. It says, my uncle Elia, it's a song about having and not having physical possessions, but having hope and dreams. My uncle goes to the market. He goes to the market with his old horse, and his cart is empty and his stomach is empty. And he brings cloths from heaven for the children. And my uncle Elia has many, many dreams. And he says, it's a beautiful world. The world is like a fine carousel, like a fine merry-go-round. The only problem is the band isn't there, the musicians, the klezmorim aren't playing. Mein Vetter Eliezer mit der Fernwogen, fort mein Vetter Affenjaritsch fähr ihm zu der Joggen, und weil sein Wogen ledig ist, wie ledig sie sein Morgen, und weil sein Wogen ledig ist, wie ledig sie sein Morgen. Fort mein Vetter auf den Jarit, habt süßer Dremel, wenn bunt als Palet wendt, seine Wend mit Schimmel, und fahr die Kinderlach bringt das Teller von Himmel, und fahr die Kinderlach bringt das Tellerö von Himmel. Mein Presbyter Eliezer Proster hielt, noch Proster wie ich mollem, doch trug der tief in Herz bei sich, Leuten süßen Cholem, und red mein Vetter noch, mit Remosim und Mescholim, und red mein Vetter noch, mit Remosim und Mescholim. Es ist die Welt ein schönes Spiel, sagt mein Vetter Elie. Es ist die Welt ein feines Spiel, ein waschnes Karuselje. Nur die Klezmer teugen nicht, es teugnet die Kapelle. Nur die Klezmer teugen nicht, es teugnet die Kapelle. Dai 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 dai. Ay da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Ay da 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 da.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Judith. Our next presenter is Dmitry Broitman. Just asking Dmitry to unmute. Dmitry is translating into Russian. This is very interesting. You know, about like 2-3 years ago, when I first learned about the poem in Flanders Fields and translated into Russian, I was actually interested. I was looking for other translation and did not find. Now we finding very recent time found 2 more, and this is how actually Dmitry is in my distribution list. So when I invited friends to this event, Dmitry said, "Oh, in Flanders Fields, actually I have a translation." So Dmitry, the microphone is yours.
All right. Thank you, Vita, and thank you, everybody. And it's such an honor and a pleasure to participate in this event and to listen to translation of this poem into Ladina and Romani and Indian and all these other languages. And I'm a programmer and I'm originally from Russia, but I live in Toronto in Canada. And when we just arrived in Toronto, my family and I, our first excursion, our first trip into downtown Toronto was University of Toronto campus. And there is a soldier's tower there, and this tower is a memorial to the University of Toronto alumni and professors and students who lost their lives in the First and in the Second World War. And by the way, in the First World War, there were much more Canadian lives lost than in the Second World War. It was terrible. And the first you see there in the tower is engraved poem of John McCrae in Flanders Fields, and under it you can see John McCrae, B.A. 1894, M.B. 1898. He was graduated from University of Toronto. So that was one of my first impression in Canada. Also, to give a bit of historical background here, why Flanders? So I've been to Belgium and I've been to Flanders, and actually when the First World War started, the German plan of Blitzkrieg was to go immediately without obstacles through Belgium and then attack and take Paris in 6 weeks. And Germans required from Belgium to let them go through Belgium was a neutral country, but a very proud country, and they refused to let Germany in, and they started to fight. And Britain, having an agreement with Belgium to support their neutral status, the next day Britain went into the war, and British troops eventually go to the continent, and they were followed by all the British Empire troops from Canada, from India, from New Zealand, from other British Empire countries. That's how Canadians and McCrae ended in Flanders. Okay, so I am going to read the first stanza in my translation in Russian. В полях фламандских, где рядами стоят кресты, а меж крестами над местом тем, где мы лежим, алеют маки, птичий гимн, орудий залпы заглушают. And the last thing I would like to say here that it was Western Front, but it was Eastern Front where Russian soldiers fought and made huge sacrifices. Millions of them were killed in action, and that unites here Russia and Canada and India, like we were, and other countries. We were allies in the First World War and in the Second World War, and that's why I believe it's important for this poem to be translated in all these languages, and in German as well, because it was a tragedy for Germany as well. And if in Germany, in every village, there are monuments for their fallen. You can see them as well. Okay, thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dima. Our next performer is Alex Sofer. Alex, the microphone is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I little bit represent just myself without any historic information, because historic now was very good presented by other. Actually, I am like kind of junior member of this club, less than 2 years. Yeah, history how I meet this club, it's another story. And when I check website, Vita represent me this project with translation, I was a little bit surprised because I didn't see Ukrainian translation. In Canada, when we have huge community, Ukrainian community, and a lot of member of club understand Ukrainian, that's why it was like priority task for me. Actually, I am a design engineer, a lot of years working here the same like design engineer. It my one of primary function, it's troubleshooting. It was kind of trouble in this translation. That's why I was, I have to translate to Ukrainian. And now I try to make sound, how sound in Ukrainian. В ланах ландрійських по весні червоні маки між хрестів струнких цвітуть. То ми. Дзвін жаворонків в вишині, неначе й не було війни. It's starting of these lyrics. And for me it was like small challenge. Plus I invite my friend for Polish translation. Unfortunately, he cannot participate this meeting today. And I'm very short, sorry. I hope it's enough.
Okay, thank you so much. Many thanks, Alex. I need to say that actually Alex and the entire Alex family people have many talents, but this is a different story. And on our.
Yeah, absolutely different.
It's different. Guys, I need to apologize. Probably because of a lot of excitement, I missed number 9, Roman Ozimek. I swear, I can swear that I know how to count until like from 1 to 10. But this is exciting for me. And Roman, my apologies. Please unmute yourself if you can and talk.
Yeah. Hi, Vita and everyone. No problem, really. I was thinking maybe you make some new arrangements, so it's no problem.
So sorry.
So my best regards from Croatia to everybody, and just shortly to introduce myself, I finished agriculture and I finished after that Faculty of Biology Ecology. I work last 15 years like independent expert in field of agrobiodiversity, so all the animal breeds and all the traditional plant sorts. But also I'm very active in caving and biospeleology, so I research underground cave animals and other creatures. Beside all this, I like very much have a high affinity to literature and poetry. So Victor Fett introduced me, and I found that poem very strong and very, how to say, exciting. So I tried to do my best to translate it in Croatian language. And now I will read the first one. Na poljima Flandrije makovi cvatu između križeva u redu u blatu. Znak našeg mjesta prepunog sjete, dok ševe još hrabro pjevajuć lete, ali jedva se čuje jer topovi bruje. So this is the first one. Maybe to the end I like to stress that my both grandfathers was in the war. First one. It has a great influence to Croatia because the state was in that moment part of the Austrian-Hungarian kingdom. After that, we started to be part of Yugoslavia, and the population was much divided on the both sides in the war. So it was very, very big influence here. Okay, this is all from my side. Best regards, and see you again, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Roman. Now thanks a lot, really. Thank you, and thank you, Victor, for bringing you. Now the spotlight is on Anna Yin. Anna was same thing. Anna was with us in last year in the Fort Ork historic site, and actually she made translation to Chinese way before we know each other. And she is also a very talented person. Anna, please, the spotlight is on you.
Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank Vita for this project. It's very meaningful and important. Yes, my name is Anna Yin. I was the first poet laureate of Misaga, and I started writing poetry in 2003, and in 2005, I won an award for the Ted Parental Memorial Award, and my poem, Torn, Torn, No More Weeping, was broadcast by CBC Radio. So I continued writing and won more awards. And now I have 5 poetry collections published. And my next one will be a collection of translations for 56 poets. So some are Chinese language speaking, some are English language speaking. So, and it will be published by Guernica editions in 2021, next year. So in Flanders Fields, I first translated it in 2010 for Canadian study for international students at Humboldt College for a joint venture from Chinese students and English students together. So for this, for Vita's project, last year I joined her and I retranslated it. And this year I did again, polished it again, because this poem is so beautiful and have a notable rhyme, and it's not so easy to translate. So I revised it again. So now I want to share the first stanza in Chinese. 在弗兰德斯战场，血红罂粟飘扬，在排排十字架之间，成列又成行。那就是我们长眠之地，云空上百灵鸟仍在展翅飞翔，勇敢歌唱。枪林弹雨中，他们歌声依稀听见。So I hope you enjoy my translation. I also hope we don't forget history and unite together for peace and for hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thanks, beautiful. Thank you. Now the microphone goes to Shahron Suleimanova. Shahron is a translator. Shahron will introduce herself. Shahron, вы можете говорить по-русски, мы переведем. I just want to say that how I know her. I asked my friend who from Azerbaijan. My friend asked somebody else, and that somebody else found Shahron. Basically, this is all, you know, very interesting, very unusual kind of networking.
Hi, my name is Shahron Suleymanova. I am from Azerbaijan. I translate this poem from Russian to Azerbaijan, and I'm very glad to translate this poem because it's very, very beautiful poems. Добрый вечер, добрый день, вернее, у нас сейчас вечер. Я рада приветствовать вас всех участников и вас, Вита. И я очень благодарна вам. Я очень рада, что участвую в таком уникальном, в таком важном проекте. Эти стихи очень глубокие, они очень трогательные, очень мне понравились они. И когда я переводила их на азербайджанский, мой родной язык, те, кто читали его, были без ума от этого стихотворения, потому что вот успех этого стихотворения, я думаю, в том, что тема его очень близка каждому человеку, каждому народу, потому что, я думаю, нет такого народа, нет такой страны, в истории которого не было бы войны, не было бы такие события. И поэтому они близки каждому, кто читает его. Мне посчастливилось переводить эти стихи, и еще для меня имеет особое значение. Эти стихи, этот перевод был как бы предзнамением моей жизни, потому что буквально через несколько дней, через 2 недели, может быть, после перевода этих стихов в моей стране начались освободительные движения наших земель. Я из Карабаха, и мы освободили свои земли. И поэтому мне особенно дороги эти стихи. Я хочу читать их первую строфу на азербайджанском языке. Flandriya çöllərində, çəmənin hər yerində qızıl lalələr açır. Alov şəfəq tək saçır. Xaçların arasında, hərbin düz ortasında sükut çələng toxuyur. Quşlar nəğmə oxuyur. Və bu da biz. Ölmüşük hər birimiz. Спасибо вам большое.
Спасибо, thank you very much. Thank you, Shahron. Shahron said that in Russian that she is very touched about the poem, and it's very important to have poems, and peace is something that is very important for all of us. Thank you, Shahron. Now the microphone goes to Phuc Dinh. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing? My name is Phuc Dinh, and I'm a student. I used to be Dr. class student, and I am a student now. And I am a translator for the poem. And yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Shahron. Oh, sorry, Phuc.
Yes. And here's the Vietnamese version for the poem. Trên những cánh đồng Flanders, Trên những cánh đồng Flanders, thêm nhiều những người lính nằm xuống từ những chiến trận, những lối mòn nhỏ, hàng từng hàng. Nó đánh dấu nơi chúng ta ở, và trên bầu trời, những con triền triện như tự do vẫn anh dũng ca hát và bay nhảy, xen lẫn với những tiếng súng, thi thoảng đâu đây bên dưới chúng. That was the first part of the Vietnamese version. So I'm very bad about history, so I don't know much about Vietnamese history, so I will skip it.
The historical part. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Hook, and many thanks to Victor for bringing you into the project.
It was wonderful to hear you in Vietnamese, and especially in this absolutely unique context, if not contest. Thank you.
No, it's context. You're correct. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hook. And what time is it now at your place?
Actually, right now it's like 1 o'clock, 1 a.m.
Wow.
Yes, 1 a.m. in the morning in Vietnam.
Thank you very much.
But I am in US actually.
Oh, okay. So then it's I see.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Fook. The next, I would like to invite Pat Connors. I know Pat for a while. Pat is a poet, and he will introduce himself. Pat participated in our charity poetry events, and it was very nice. And also in this project, actually, Pat brought Anna in, so we got Chinese translation. This credit go to both Anna and Pat. Pat, please.
Thank you very much, Vida. It is my honor to be here again. Special greetings to Mr. Karpov, the Consulate General of Russia in Toronto. Wonderful to be with the Club Mosaic again. Flanders Fields is the most important poem in Canadian history. It really put on the world consciousness. It's respectful to the soldiers, but it's not pro-war. It is interesting that we performed it at Fort York last year because it is not pro-war, but it is respectful of soldiers. There is an important distinction there that has to be respected because we should honor people that fight for good. And also because my family is distantly from Ireland. We came to Newfoundland in the late 1840s, and the Canadian Armed Forces is a major employer in Newfoundland. I have many family members who have been in the armed forces in Canada and also some in the United States. So I commend you, Anna, Vida, for what you have done here. You've created a thing that is the true embodiment of Canada, the embracing of cultures and the celebration of different cultures that make up our cultural mosaic. And I commend you on that, and also keeping this flowing when there's so many speakers, but we've managed to have 15 people speak in an hour, so I'm not going to take up too much time. I will do a personal plug. I am going to send everybody on the chat a link to yesterday. I had a poem posted on the League of Canadian Poets website, and that is going to be in my forthcoming book, The Other Life, which is going to be released by Mosaic Press very shortly. Mosaic Press is not related to Club Mosaic. There's no relation, but how ironic that I happen to have the honor of being part of both projects. And thank you all very much for sharing this most very important and special poem in Canadian history and sharing your cultures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pat. And I hope that all this lockdown, it will end one day, so we will see again each other. We all see each other in person. This will be so nice. Okay, and our last presenter, last but not the least, is Nicholas. Nicholas, please introduce yourself and speak.
Hi, good day. I'm Nicholas Ihebuleze, and I used to be a student under Dr. Fett, and I was invited to translate the poems in my native language. So I translated it in Igbo, my mother tongue, and also Yoruba. So those are two southern Nigerian languages. Igbo is southeast and Yoruba is southwest. So I'm going to go ahead and translate in Igbo. So here. Nambara Flanders, okokoro ko gbasapụtara n'etiti wara nnọọ nahiri akara eji ama ebe anyị na n'ebe eluigwe nnụnụ titi kwụsịrị ike na-agụ egwu Felie Hagaegi Emeporo Maibe Noro Nopuru. That's Igbo, and this is in Yoruba, the Southwestern language. Na won ni àwọn ayé Flanders, àwọn ọmọ ọjà fẹ́, láàrin àwọn ìrékọjá, kaná lórí ilá, ìyẹn sàmìsí ayé wa, àti ní sánmọ̀, àwọn larks sì tún fi ìgboyà kọrin fún agbègbè láàrin àwọn ìbọn ní ìsàlẹ̀. So yeah, that's the Southwestern Nigerian language, and yeah, I'm glad, and I'm delighted to have been invited to present and to translate here. So I would say I've learned quite a bit from the previous talks about the war and everything, and I'm open to learning more. Yeah, thank you.
Nicholas, was so nice to have you here. So again, where are you located now? What town?
So now I'm a junior research scientist at NYU, New York University College of Dentistry. So I'm currently doing like research work here. Yeah.
Oh, I see. What time is it your place?
So it's 1 o'clock, 1 p.m.
Oh, still very late. Which one is your native language? Like, I believe you speak both very well, but
Igbo, the southeastern. Yes.
The south. Okay. This is all very cool. So, and keep in touch too.
Yeah.
So we're done with the presentations and performance. We will have a section of questions and answers in a minute. Before we go to this, I want to say two more things. So as you probably noticed, whoever presented here, I believe, except for maybe one or only Dmitry, all translations are Roman. All translations are already on our website, and the other translations are being posted. Okay, and will be posted soon. Another thing, we have different, we always keep the schedule of events on our website, so please check. Most of the events are for the Russian speakers, but some of them, like this one, like for common audiences for English speakers. And we keep some other information there too. For example, we recently, this news is very fresh. We recently, this project got an award from Canadian Ethnic Media Association. This is quite a big thing. And there will be a big ceremony. They say Canada leaders it will be translated for Canadian television. So it will be on Wednesday. So the information is also on our website. I'm really, there are 9 different nominations. This one is community engagement. I got an impression they're talking about this is newly introduced nomination. Got an impression the nomination was introduced for this project because we don't belong to media, but we do belong to a different ethnic culture. So this is yes, important. So this is one thing. Second thing, which by the way Mikhail Kenka noticed too. At the beginning, I was we were looking for the option to make a book, right? It would be nice to have a book of these translations. And I was asking, all different publishing houses to make a book. Little by little, I realized that making a book is maybe doesn't make much sense, because even if you make a very big book, tomorrow it will be kind of obsolete, because tomorrow we will have new languages, right? Some translations will be in the book and some are not. I started thinking maybe it will be more relevant to find a journal or magazine or whatever, something that something periodically published. This is just a thought and an idea for everybody. If you can think with me, it would be really nice. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say, and now please questions and answers. And I hope I did not miss any translator. If I did, please, I can see other people. If by any chance maybe some people are late, if I missed anybody, please tell me so. Okay, so any questions and statements?
Well, I can probably say a couple of words at this point. In English, for most people, I am so glad that this format actually works. I never seen, honestly, anything like this in 30 years that I am in the United States. It's good that technology allows us to do this and immediately connect people and learn this little pixel of history, which is very relevant. In fact, I thank you all very much, especially my friends and former students who are very often amazed by this task, but performed brilliantly probably. I don't know their languages, so it's up to them and their peers. But I hope this community grows like crystallization of this little pixel. And on the personal note again, I remember my grandfather who raised me in Russia actually was shell-shocked in First World War on the eastern, on the Russian front. And when I asked why his handwriting is so bad, that's what he explained to me. He never could use his right hand for writing. He wrote with his left, and being a physician, it didn't matter because prescriptions are always very badly written, as everyone knows. So this is my earliest remembrance and knowledge about the same events which precipitated John McCrae's poem. So it's not forgotten. It's all with us every moment of our life. Thank you.
Yes, Anna.
I also want to thank Vita and also for all the contributors. Yeah, and today I heard so many different voices and also comments about this great poem, and I learned a lot from all the world, from different perspectives. So thank you all, and glad to meet you online. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Anna. Nice to have you here. Any other questions? If no question, I would like to show you again. So not again, I didn't show, not yet. Can you guys see my screen? Can you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so
the
what
website,
I want, correct. So like specifically, I'm showing not like of course where we have like home. We have a site that is the site is maintained in both English and Russian. So I'm showing the in Flanders Fields stuff, English version, because in Russian version we have only like a few whatever description of the project. And in English version of the website, specifically tab in Flanders Fields, we have here description, some information, a word, whatever it is, the original of the poem, and also all translations. So like, please check. Recently, some people noticed, okay, if, for example, can you still see it? Because sometimes it has a glitch if I switch the pages.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, some people notice that Vita, you don't have the time of the event. Like two people actually said no time. I said, well, it's noon, but some people don't pay attention if it's noon. But it's not their fault. It's we need to. You always need to think how to make it better and more understandable and more informative. So if you notice any mistakes, which we all make, please tell me. You all have my contact, and correct me if anything wrong. Just let me know. And stay with us. I paste here in the chat window our website, clubetc.ca. Come to our events, check our schedule, talk to new people to get new translators, and I hope keep safe. This time is not very easy. It's not. It's difficult for everybody actually, and so keep safe and stay in touch. And many thanks to everybody for coming. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you again.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye.
Stay well. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay all safe.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.